trouble in Norman. John Mateer had to have a procedure on his hand, wrist area, and oh boy, he's going to miss some time. Now, the good news for the Oklahoma Sooners is that they do not have an opponent this week that is going to threaten them. But ESPN and several others have reported he's addressing a right hand injury that he sustained against Auburn. There is an expectation he will return to action sometime this season, according to the tweet. Now, the problem for Oklahoma is not this week. They will be perfectly fine. They are taking on Kent State. The game is at home. They have a bye this week. Then they play Kent State. Then we'll talk about what happens after that. So on the one hand, you don't immediately look at this, and you don't ever want injuries to happen, of course. This is about the best possible time you could have it. You got through the Auburn game. You're 4-0. Now you have a bye, and you have Kent State at home next week. You could have benched John Mateer if he didn't have a serious injury. The issue for Oklahoma is that Texas is their next game. And you get into the gauntlet of this Oklahoma schedule on the back half. Listen to this. Texas in the Red River Shootout. At South Carolina, host Ole Miss, at Tennessee, at Alabama, Missouri, LSU. Oklahoma has one of the toughest schedules in the country. Michael Hawkins has played some football before, and he is very mobile. He's got a pretty good arm, not as good of a passer as John Mateer. That's why he's the backup, of course. He's not as experienced as Mateer, but he did start a couple of games last year when Jackson Arnold was really struggling. If John Mateer does not get back, the two issues that can arise here for Oklahoma. Issue number one, the obvious, he doesn't get back in time for the Texas game. In no world could I pick Oklahoma to win Red River if Michael Hawkins is starting at quarterback. Because, frankly, for the sake of college football fans, I don't want that to be the case. Because I don't want that rivalry game that's one of the 5 best in the country to feel diminished, to have a built-in excuse for one side. But also, we'd have to watch a game between Michael Hawkins and then Arch Manning against the Oklahoma defense. Oh my gosh. Yikes. Cotton Bowl? That could feel like the toilet bowl of quarterback play. So, Arch did get on track this weekend against Sam Houston State. He's flexing on him. He's got aura, according to Texas. So cringe, man. So cringe. It's Sam Houston State. I was going to say most people wouldn't know where it is on a map, but it has the name Houston in it, so that's kind of a dead giveaway. It's in the greater Houston area, So, anyway, if you have Michael Hawkins going against that Texas defense, Arch Manning has struggled. Maybe he figured it out, needed a confidence boost, got it against Sam Houston State. He looked better. Yeah, Oklahoma's defense, a little bit better than the Bearcats. Just a smidge, just a tad, just a scotch. Just a lot. I could, for those watching on YouTube, I could, go like this and say, oh, it's way better. I could put my hands off the screen and say it's this much better. So we don't quite know yet. And the one time Arch faced a real defense was game 1 against Ohio State. We all know how that went. It was pretty ugly. Now, is that a formula for Oklahoma to try and win that game? Yeah, I actually still think they could. Crazier things have happened in a rivalry. The last time that I can remember, Oklahoma had some back and forth with a quarterback. Well, I suppose when they didn't have Dylan Gabriel, they lost the game 49-0. Maybe for Oklahoma's sake, I'm not trying to scare you guys right now and tell you that your season is toast, because it all depends on when John Mateer can get back. But there was also that time that Spencer Rattler started the game and Caleb Williams finished it. That went pretty well. That went pretty well. Now, Michael Hawkins has got some talent, got some ability, doesn't have all the experience. I do think that it is great, again, timing-wise, that he's going to get a bye week to work with the first-team offense, that he is going to get Kent State as a tune-up at home to work with the first-team offense, and, well, you better keep him healthy going into the Texas game. But this is a byproduct. I don't know exactly what play this happened on. It could have been a passing play. I don't know. But something that I pointed out with Oklahoma following their win against Michigan, which I thought they'd win. I thought they'd beat Auburn, and they did. I thought those would be wins to begin the season. I didn't waver off those predictions. I had Oklahoma finishing the season 8-4. I still see that as incredibly possible because the knock on Ben Arbuckle coming into his tenure with Oklahoma is didn't really develop a run game with the running backs. And we still haven't seen that. And so as a result, when John Mateer is asked to be your Superman, he has a higher likelihood of getting dinged up over the course of the season. Auburn is a good physical defense. Mateer made game-winning plays. I don't know when this happened, but guess what? You expose your quarterback to a lot more risk when you have no semblance of a run game with your backs that you can lean on. And Oklahoma has had nothing in those 2 wins. It has been all John Mateer. So now, bringing this back to the Oklahoma State discussion for a moment, I think this is the biggest test for Ben Arbuckle to date. The results at Washington State offensively were very good. Their defense was atrocious last year. The results so far at Oklahoma have been good. I won't say great, but they have been good. When you're a high-profile coordinator at your rival, yeah, that could spice up if we ever get Bedlam back. I hope we do one day. Stupid realignment. Anyway, so I understand for a guy that's already in the state and would have some familiarity with recruiting in that particular footprint, not a ton because he just got there. If he goes out and gets Michael Hawkins to play at a level that beats the Texas defense, he would move into my top 3 candidates for the Oklahoma State job. He would. But as I said, for me, it is G.J. Kinney, it is Jeff Traylor, it is Colin Klein. Those would be my top 3 if I were Oklahoma State. I'd consider some other candidates. I'd consider Ben Arbuckle. So far, though, he's done good things. He hasn't done the, oh my gosh, this is incredible, unbelievable things. Like most of his success as a coordinator, and he deserves credit for it, but it is worthwhile context to discuss. Most of his success has been with John Mateer. John Mateer was, I believe, Washington State's leading rusher last year, and John Mateer can make some seriously special throws. And I actually don't remember if Arbuckle was the one that recruited him to Washington State. I'd have to do a double check on that. But if he gets Michael Hawkins to play well enough against the Texas defense, which I have been and continue to be quite bullish on because their talent is really good, they are coordinated well, that is one of the elite units in all of college football, then okay, I will view Ben Arbuckle in an even higher light. He'll go from top 5 to top 3 candidate, in my view, for the Oklahoma State job. But right now, I think he's still got something left to prove as an offensive coordinator. But if he's able to make this work, that'd be pretty impressive. That'd be very impressive considering the opponent you are going against. For Oklahoma, though, their offense has been, the reason I'm worried for the Sooners' sake is John Mateer is a really fun player to watch. That stinks. He's one of the Heisman favorites right now. He's been their entire offense, pretty much. It's been him. He's making special throws. He's making special plays. He's leading them in rushing all the time, even though they're not running for that many yards. It's just been him. And Oklahoma, pending how Michael Hawkins is able to perform, runs the risk of, until Mateer returns, of being inverted 2022 USC with Lincoln Riley. You run the risk of being Iowa. That's what, or frankly, just look at Oklahoma last year. Defense was really good. Yep, offense couldn't get it together. That's the risk that is run here for the Sooners. So I hope John Mateer gets back healthy because the Sooners will be a lot more fun to watch throughout the course of the season if he is there. But if it's Michael Hawkins, then Ben Arbuckle could only be coordinator at Oklahoma for 1 year if he winds up having a lot of success. So what a news-filled day. And yeah, this is a bonus show. Still more coming tomorrow. Appreciate everyone listening. I'll see you next time. And until then, hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.